Jerome, what's up, man? How you doing?
Good. How you?
Good. I wanted to ask you about Coach Campanelli. He seems like a real energy guy, real wholesome, family-oriented guy. What have you noticed about him, and what has your experience been like working with him this season, man?
Yeah, Coach Camp. He's full of energy. He's full of excitement. Yeah, you can just tell he cares a lot. He cares about every little thing. Um, but yeah, he's just a guy that cares, and he definitely brings a lot of energy to us.
Hal?
Hey, Jerome. When you arrived, you were at the tail end of several seasons, actually, when the Dolphins would come out in the first half of games and really struggle to take command of a game, struggle to score. And now you guys are tearing it up in the first quarter. What is it about your preparation or your mindset that is enabling you to really jump on teams? And what do you see maybe when you look in the eyes of the opposition when you guys have jumped to a 2 or 3 touchdown lead and the ball game's just begun?
So yeah, I think this year we put a big emphasis on starting fast, and not just defense, not just offense, but as a team, in all three phases. So uh, I'm a firm believer if you put an emphasis on it, it's going to work out. And this year, the emphasis has been start fast, start fast, start fast. We've proven that we can come back or different things like that. But this year, we really wanted to every game start fast, and lately we definitely been doing it.
Travis?
Hey, Jerome. Good afternoon, man. This is a team, the Broncos, with two pretty talented backs and two, I guess, different running styles. And with all that goes on in the 40 seconds between each snap, do you have time to really key their substitutions? And how does their ability to swap those two talented backs in and out change your approach or maybe your pre-snap checklist?
Yeah, you definitely have time, and if you don't have time, you got to make time. Uh, they definitely have two unique backs, and what I mean by that is, you know, you have to do your homework of who's in the game because you can eliminate or uh, kind of have anticipation of what they're trying to do with that back. And for us, that's been our goal with pretty much anybody we face. You got to know who's in the game. You got to know who you're going against. What do they do well? What do they struggle with? And play accordingly. So you definitely have enough time, but you really got to just know your stuff.
Omar?
Jerome, I wanted to ask you this question. Well, primarily based on the fact that you played the least amount of slaps last week that you have all season. You're the leading tackler. How difficult is that for a guy who's been playing such a prominent role to sort of minimize yourself to play the role and scheme that they have for you every Sunday, no matter how little or how much?
I think the one thing that I can say about me is, I do whatever just to win. That's why I play so many different positions. That's why I do so much. Or my roles always switch. For me, it's all about winning. So, just last week I didn't play as many snaps. It really doesn't affect me because the outcome is a win. So, yeah, I play games where I play 99% of the snaps, and I play other games that I didn't. But ultimately, for me, if you came out to win, that's all that's important to me.
Cam?
Jerome, what's up, man? Obviously, you guys have won 5 straight. Y'all are in the playoff mix. If y'all win Sunday, y'all tie for the division. Do you circle any of those things as a goal, before the end of the year? Winning the division, making the playoffs?
I think that's the unique thing about this team is we truly do not. I'm not gonna say care, but we really don't. Make that an emphasis. As this is what we're gonna do. The one thing is we truly just want to get better, every day. And even in the video, I truly didn't even know our record. I just go out there and just keep winning games, and in the end, it's gonna come out how you want it. So. I think for us, our main goal is just to get better every day and let the season handle itself.
If I could follow up on one a little different, the amoeba defense. I don't know if that's what y'all call it or if y'all call it something different, but what does that sort of do when you get that as a play call? What goes in your mind when that's called and you see the other offense's face when they don't know what's going on?
For me, I get excited because you don't know who's down. You get to hear all the different checks. You kind of just mess with the offense. They might say, I'm the Mike. I would mess with them and say, no, I'm not. And then you look up, somebody, a tackle or guard didn't hear you. They ask what happened. The center snapped the ball. Next thing you know, we're in the backfield. For me, I get excited because it's kind of like a mind game. I know that's confusing. And the more you try to communicate, it's like, I'm going to communicate with you. I'm going to mess you up. You say, I'm the Mike, whereas he's the Mike. You kind of just have fun with it. For me, it's just I think that's one of my favorite calls or our favorite defenses because simply you don't know who's who. We're all moving. We're all jumping around. We're all talking. For the offense, it's pretty tough. And the more you confuse on offense, the more fun for defensive players, you can have. So I love it.
Our last one, Hal.
Hey, Jerome, I want to go back to what Cam was asking you about a minute ago regarding the standings and everything. You'd said you truly don't know your record. So when Cam and I tell you that you could catch Buffalo for first place, is that a surprise to you? Did you know that? Or are we poisoning your mind?
I know our record now. Kyle told me last game. But, it's going to work out in the end. If we just keep winning games, everything's going to work out. So that's the main thing. It's going to work out. If you just constantly win games in this league, you're going to get where you're going to go. So it's all good.
Hi, Austin. Do you feel totally back from a physical and rhythm standpoint to where you were before the foot injury?
Yes, I do. Had a good amount of time to get ready, and I'm still working on my treatment today.
Travis?
Hey, Austin. Good afternoon, man. I always love hearing your perspective on, technique and matchups and things like that. So what do you have to do this week to handle Bradley Chubb? Like what's his best move you have to look out for? And what's the best route for you to get him blocked consistently?
Well, he's a bigger type of athlete. Last week we had Melvin Gordon, who's also, an athlete, but doesn't have as much size to him. I said Bradley Chubb is pretty close to as good an athlete, but he also has some size and speed on him as well. So I would say the biggest thing for him would just be to get down the middle of him, try to center myself up with him so I can be in a good position to react to any move, to any initial or counter move, because he will throw a counter move after his initial rush.
Joe?
I'm actually not a big pet guy, but my partner Hal Habib is. Is that a dog with a squeaky toy or something?
Yeah, that's my dog sitting right here. Just happy that I'm home from practice.
What's your dog's name and what kind of dog do you have?
He just ran away. Otherwise, I'd show you. But his name is Pluto, and he's a Cane Corso. Pluto, like the X planet. Ooh. I know it's not technically a planet now, but yeah.
All right. My football question. Chan Gailey has a everything is going to be all right mindset kind of approach to life, which is a good approach to have. What do you think when you hear that? And can you think of like an example where you saw it in action?
Yeah, I say that's kind of the motto going into every game, because you're gonna have every team has ups and downs in every game. You can start off the game 21-0, but if you don't do your job in those 3 quarters, at the rest of the game you could walk out the game 50-21. You never know. So I think by that, it just means to just be calm and just focus on what you can control and play the next play. Cool.
Barry?
Austin, do you pay any attention at all to how Jedrick and Tristan and Andrew Thomas are doing? And is it at all meaningful for you, considering you were the last of that group drafted, although still obviously a good draft pick, to be considered better than them, as good as them this year?
Nah, I wouldn't say I'd watch them to judge myself, make myself better or worse off of how they play. Obviously, any athlete, any competitor, wants to be the best in their position regardless, not just out of them, but out of the whole league. So, when I watch them, it's nice to see, guys that I've known for a while compete, doing different things, seeing different things, helping me learn different things. I enjoy to watch the game. So I do like to watch those guys, but not in that context.
Travis?
Hey, Austin, we just had Brandon Jones on, and I got a chance to ask him about the coldest game he ever played and being a Texas guy. Now, I know you going from Phoenix to SC now to Miami, you kind of hit the jackpot as far as where you've lived your whole life. It's supposed to be 40 degrees in Denver, so kind of a break for late November, but have you played in a game colder than 40 degrees? And what's your thoughts just on cold weather football?
Pre-game sucks. Cold weather football, I'll tell you that. Before you get a real sweat, it's tough. But once you start playing, you don't really realize how cold it is outside. And I would say it's like my third time. This would be my third time playing in Colorado. And both times were pretty cold, but I think the coldest I've ever been in was Notre Dame last year. I think it was like 30 or it was like late 20s, early 30s when we played them by the end of the game. So that was pretty cold.
We'll take one more, Hal.
Austin, with that build-up that Joe gave me, I got to ask you about Pluto. So tell us what Pluto is like now. I'm not quite sure, is this like a big guy with a really tiny dog walking down the street, or is Pluto a big dog? And what's the craziest thing Pluto does?
He's not a little dog, nah. He should be a pretty big sized dog, not like Doberman length or Saint Bernard length, but he should be a pretty big dog. But he's brindle. His color is brindle, so he's got I don't want to say stripes, but these deep brown ridges and his black coat. And he's a pretty funny guy all around. What's the funniest thing he does? He does a lot of funny things. He's just always running around. He likes to act like my cat. So my cat will kind of jump up on the windowsill and on the back of the couch, where that hard part is. And so he'll try to jump up there and act like he's my cat. That's pretty funny to me.
Safa, do you have anything to add?
Can you show him to us? Can we see Pluto? Can we see your cat? I mean, can you pick him up and grab him for us?
I actually just kicked him out because they were stressing me out during this meeting. So they're probably all downstairs.
All right, maybe next time.
Next time, yeah. If they're acting right.
Hi, Brandon. Good to see you getting regular playing time on defense. Been 20 to 30 snaps last week. Where do you think you've improved as a safety from your time at Texas? What specifically have you gotten better in?
I would say overall, just being able to, I think it's a lot different. I think, the Dolphins kind of always set the players up to put them in the best position to be successful. So I just try to learn as much as I can and do whatever I can. Improvement-wise, I'm always hard on myself. I think there's things that I need to improve on a daily basis for every aspect of my game. So that's one thing that's always kind of be unanswered. because I'm never really satisfied.
Joe?
Hey, Brandon, it's Joe. We're all kind of obsessed with that fun third down package where everyone sort of walks around in a sort of control chaos kind of thing. Did you do any of that in high school or college? And what did you think when they explained the way it works to you, at the Dolphins?
Yeah, I've never done anything like that before. Especially in high school and college. My thing was, get the call, get lined up, read your keys, do all that stuff. So that was something it was fun, just you never know. The quarterback never knows where pressure's coming, if we're not coming. So it's just it gives you a lot of freedom. Kind of just it's like lets you be able to do what you want to do. Put your own sauce on it, like our coach says. And at the end of the day, just kind of create confusion for the offense and for the quarterback.
Travis?
Hey, Brandon, it's good to see you again, man. I wanted to kind of piggyback off that last question with a comment that Coach made earlier today about defensive creativity. He said he encourages the Dolphins staff to be creative, both offensively and defensively. So I'm curious if, like, getting the week's game plan for you, is it kind of like Christmas morning where you open it up and the game plan's different each week and you see how much dime or big nickel, how much am I going to be out there? Do you get pretty excited about that? I
do. It's definitely exciting with this coaching staff and just the defensive scheme that we run. Like I said, just how versatile we could be and how many different packages that we have. It's always fun just to see kind of from my position, just to see where I'll be lined up this week. My certain job description this week versus what it was last week, and just being able to adjust. That's one big thing that I'm still kind of trying to learn each week is just to be able to master my job description and be able to carry that on a consistent basis from week to week.
Barry?
Brandon, that project you did before the draft about notes on all 32 teams, I don't recall, was that about each team's defense or was it about offenses and stuff that you could now study now to prepare for opponents' offenses?
Yeah, so it was, I was watching offenses and writing basically what I thought they were running on defense. It was kind of challenging, especially in college. I guess my football IQ and it's a lot different. They run a lot of different stuff in college than they did in the NFL. That they do in the NFL. So it was really just me just kind of guessing based off of what I knew in college, my knowledge and IQ, and kind of putting two and two together. I definitely look back now and think it was pretty cool because I feel like majority of the time I was right in a certain instance with just the basic coverage, like, oh, this is cover 3 right here, this is cover 4, not really knowing. There's a lot of different variety of things in the NFL, but I think from the baseline of it, I was pretty spot on for the most part.
Travis?
Hey, Brandon, I think you guys catch a little bit of a break this week in Denver. It's only supposed to be 40 degrees. Could be a lot worse. I'm curious, being a Texas kid, what's the coldest game you ever played in?
Coldest game I've ever played. I would say the coldest game would probably be in the 40s, 30s. Not like super cold. We always played Iowa State early, or if we did play them late, we're at home. So I never got too cold when I played there. I would say the coldest places were probably either I would say Kansas State, or probably West Virginia. It was pretty cold and rainy at the same time, so that was really fun.
Barry?
Brandon, thanks for explaining that project to us again. I just want to follow up and ask you, has that work back in January and February helped you at all this season? Are there any notes you took that you ever look back to?
No, I really don't look back with it now, just based off of my position. I got to know a lot of different things, and like I said, I wasn't 100% sure when I was watching film, preparing for the draft and stuff, if it was correct. So I really didn't. I kind of remember some stuff, just mainly just about the opponents, the teams that we play against, or people that I saw on film. But scheme wise, not too much. I really don't remember too much of that stuff. Because like I said, majority of it was me just guessing, depending on what the corners and safeties were doing.
Last one or more.
Brandon, I want to ask you, most of the NFL is, a lot of the NFL is in the intensive protocol. You guys have been in it now for a couple of weeks, but the league mandated that everybody is going to it on Saturday. How does the intensive protocol impact your preparation week? Like, what changes, what's different? And do you feel like it's going to put the league at a disadvantage?
No, I don't think, not at all. I don't think the league will be at a disadvantage at all. I think overall our schedule is pretty much the same from a practice standpoint, from meetings, especially being able to have this during the off season when all we were doing were meetings. So it's basically, we have a familiarity with how that went and stuff like that. For me, I would say the only difference is just we used to have kind of walkthroughs before practice, and that was super beneficial for me. Just a young player still trying to get a hang of things, just being able to see it. I'm a guy that has to kind of walk through. I learn better with walking through and being able to see it in person versus kind of over Zoom. So that's kind of the only thing that I battle with. I don't know about everybody else, but yeah, mostly the schedule's the same. Practice, the tempo of practice throughout the week is about the same. And another thing, just the grab and goes. That's a little different from versus being able to eat in a facility.
Hey, Malcolm, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Thanks for taking the time to do this. I'm writing a story about mental toughness, and I couldn't imagine the degree of mental toughness you need to get through 4 years in Annapolis. What was that experience like? Were you ready for it when it began? Give me some examples of what you had to go through, and how do you think it prepared you for life in the NFL?
I think you asked if I was prepared for it when I got it. I wasn't prepared at all. I think coming from a military background, I thought I had it, a notch up on everyone, and I'd be a little bit ahead because I've been around it a little bit. But I don't think anything prepares you for the initial culture shock that you go through. I vividly remember the first night in Annapolis. I was being woken up with pots and pans at like 4:30 in the morning. There was a whole bunch of screaming and yelling going on. Everybody's running around, and then 5 minutes later, we're all running miles and miles in the dark of the morning. So it took a lot of mental toughness not to quit. A lot of people that started with me didn't end with me. And then on top of all the military stuff, you have some rigorous academics, and then on top of that, you gotta go play football. So it took a lot to stay there, and I think balancing all that and then coming to the NFL helped me prioritize and balance everything that the coaches asked for me to do and stuff like that.
Josh?
Hey, Malcolm, that's an incredible story you got there. I wanted to ask you about Savon Ahmed, just being rookies, working together. What's it been like, being in the same room on the field with him over the past few months?
It's been great. He's a great guy on and off the field. Obviously, you saw what he could do on Sunday. I think he's a playmaker, and I think he brings a lot to the table. But he's smart and just a good guy on and off the field. Like I said, I like hanging around him and stuff like that.
Joe?
Hey, Malcolm, I think it was in this last game where there was that one play where it looked for sure like it was going to be a loss, and then you kind of turned it into a positive. If you know the play I'm talking about, can you tell me kind of what was going through your mind as it was developing and the mindset that you try to take relative to escaping a negative play?
Yeah, so the play didn't start off too well, but luckily I was able to create something out of nothing, and didn't want to end up doing too much and hurting the team or and losing too many yards. So there was an element of hey, go make something happen. But there was also an element of don't get caught doing too much and end up hurting the team a lot more than need be. So luckily, I was able to make a positive out of a negative and move the ball a little bit.
Barry?
Hi, Malcolm. If you have an NFL career over an extended period and the early signs look very promising, for a guy who's a former college quarterback, it can basically go a couple of ways. You could be like, a change of pace gimmick type guy, or you could be a slot receiver who plays there a lot of snaps like Edelman long term. How determined from a career goal perspective are you to be that full-time slot guy as opposed to a guy who's just thought of as a gimmicky few snaps a game guy?
I don't think about much stuff like that long term. I like to take things day by day and come out every day and attack the day. I don't like to think long term of what my legacy will be or what role I'll have on in the future. Just try to go attack the day that's ahead of me, not think about everything that's going on in the future.
Travis?
Hey, Malcolm. Good to see you again, man. Earlier today, Coach told us about how he encourages creativity among the coaching staff. And as a player like yourself with such a unique skill set and diverse skill set, I have to imagine that you're as appreciative of all the creativity and opportunities this type of offense affords you, right?
Of course, I'm appreciative of the fact that I'm able to say I'm on the Dolphins. So that on top of the ability to come out here and use my skill set in a way that helps the team and just get on the field really is a blessing. So I'm appreciative for that and the ability to use my skill set.
And we'll take two more. Joe?
Malcolm, we were talking to Chan Gailey, and he was saying regarding Tua that he has an everything's going to be all right kind of mindset. I'm curious what comes to mind when you hear that, maybe an example.
Yeah, I think overall he's just a positive guy. I don't think he doesn't let negativity get to him, and he tries to look to the next play if something negative happens, and he's always encouraging his teammates whether something bad happened or something good happened. So I definitely agree with that, and I think it helps the team, it helps the offensive huddle, and I think it's a positive thing for the organization as a whole.
Last one, Barry?
Malcolm, where do you think you've improved most as a receiver since the end of July? What part of being a receiver?
I think probably just knowledge of what's going on as a defense. In college, everything was a lot more simple, obviously, but just getting a better feel for what's going on, what's going on defense and offense, just the whole scheme, what my role is in that scheme, and what I need to do to make sure I'm successful and the offense as a unit is successful. So